guys, welcome to the first episode of Sit You Around. Do you guys love my podcast name? Sit You Around because in my Instagram bio is have a flower please. That's the way I want people to feel love and the way I express love. And before flower, you need to plant the seed. This phase of seeding is so quiet that no one can see what's happening from the outside. Only we know what's going on, and sometimes we don't even know what's going on. But all we know is that we only start from here, a seed. So through Sit You Around, I hope you find inspiration to believe that something beautiful is growing within you too. So let's begin. What makes me finally start my own podcast today? As you can see from the title, I turned all my favorite people into lesson. It's definitely not an easy journey, but by God's grace, I got to experience it and bring my first podcast to life. I guess it's not uncommon to lose friends in our 20s, but why should you listen to me? I'll tell you why. Because I lose all my friends, I don't know what I'm doing, but I still managed to double my income in January, and I go from crying every day last year to now on February 15. I only cried once in 2025. So when I say I can do it with a broken heart, I mean it. Let's get into this podcast. So initially, I wanted to put this topic as I'm 24 years old and I got no friends, which can potentially be a very viral topic, but it's not really that case. I still have friends I can talk to hang out with. But what I'm trying to say here is the few I always turn to for advice, the one I thought I would have forever, are no longer in my life anymore. Some of them failed me, and honestly, I failed some of them. Things happen, and through this journey, I come to realize that there are two types of friends in our life. So think about life as a journey. We're all trying to reach the highest self, the peak of the mountain. And the first type of friend is the one that keeps you entertained along the journey. They're usually very supportive, they support us emotionally, they make sure we're happy, and if they see us stressed or sad, it's their instinct to say, don't stress, take it slow. These kind of friends are very important. They comfort you. Their love is well-intentioned, but true growth is usually not comfortable. It requires challenge and accountabilities, and this is where the second type of friends play their role. During our journey, they are the one that show you how to read the map. They teach you how to fish. They tell you you're stupid when you're doing something stupid. Those are the one that I turned all of them into lessons today. I think my friendship took a break because first of all, I'm in a very, very bad mental state at the time. And second of all, I don't know how to set boundaries, or says I never set boundaries before. So as a people pleaser, right, you always give your 10 out of 10 to people until you cannot anymore. And when you suddenly give 1 instead of 10, understandably people react differently, and you eventually take a break on your friendship when both parties are not aligned as before. It's not easy after quitting because grief only exists where love exists first. But I think we all need to remember that it will always be hard. It's just a matter of which heart you are choosing. Choosing yourself and disappoint people is hard, but not learning how to set boundaries and giving more than you can handle is hard too. At the end of the day, it really comes down to which heart you're choosing. And obviously, your girl chose to disappoint her friend this time. So along this journey, what makes me stay until today is I always believe that if I've gone through this, I can become a better person. Everything you go through now will become part of a story that only you can tell. And imagine that it would be so cool when your little sister or brother or your future kids ask you, have you been in a phase like this? And you have the chance to say, yes, I've been there, I didn't escape from it, and here's how I go through it. It will be so cool, and I know I will only regret if I didn't get to answer this properly, because when I try to ask people how do I get less anxious, the answer I always get is time will solve the issue, or just ignore the negative things. No, we don't want an answer like this. And at the end of the day, we want to make sure we really go right through it. And even if we make the wrong decision, okay, I made a mistake, and then what? I haven't got back any of my friends just yet, but here's how I shift my mindset in these 3 months. I think the hardest thing in losing a friendship is not loneliness, it's guilt. So how do we get over this guiltiness? There are 2 situations in losing a friendship. So first is you cut them off, and then second is they cut you off. If they cut you off for whatever reason, you need to remember that there is always a chance for apology. And if an apology is necessary, it will come with action, not just words. Think about how you can become a better friend and show it to them. You don't have to go back to them immediately. Make sure when you knock on their door to be their friend again, you got something different and better to bring to a table this time. The same goes to when you cut off someone, right? Don't let them come back so easily just to destroy your peace. You need to remember why you cut them off. You think back the thing they do, right? Would you do that to someone you're afraid of losing? No, right? Then if you're not someone they want to keep in life, then you made the right choice in leaving them also. Don't be afraid of losing people who are not afraid to lose you and don't respect you, even if you like them a lot. You got your lesson to learn and they got theirs. And you will meet many more people along the way, even though they may not feel as close as the friend that you lose simply because they are new friends. But trust the process and trust that the right person will come into your life when the time is right. It can be new friends or the friends you lose along the way. So, how do you become a better friend? I hate the quote that says a friend is a person who unconditionally accepts you for who you are. I think every relationship, especially friendship, is the most conditional. Conditional in what? Conditional in mutual effort, respect, growth. And cutting off a friend for good isn't the worst thing you can do. The worst kind of friendship, I think, is two lost souls constantly comforting each other that they are doing great. And when in reality, they're just making excuse for things that don't make sense at all. In other words, friendship is a choice, not an obligation. And people stay in friendship because they add value to each other's life, not just because how long I've been your friends or loyalty. So as we said just now, friendship is conditional. Here are 3 things I think I did right during this journey to utilize my experience so that I become a better self and eventually become a better friend. So first is I went to therapy for the first time. It was super uncomfortable because most of my life I am always surrounded by people. I'm never lack of love or friendship. And people will tell me, wow, you got many friends. And I agree with that. And now you tell me I have to pay someone to listen to me. How miserable is that? But looking back, I think I did a very right move because you cannot be a friend that always big down in front of people. I don't think anyone I love deserve to hold my negativity for that long. If once in a while, then okay lah. But I know in my situation that time, it's going to be a long journey. So when you pay a therapist, right, you're a customer. Your therapist is trained to listen and you're paying them to help you work through your stuff. It's their job to give you rational, actionable advice. So don't be afraid to seek professional help when you need it. Your story are safe with them. So you won't leave an image of you complaining here and there, and you're in a safe space. It's good for your friend and your image too. And the second thing I do is journaling. When I say journal, right, it comes with technique. I've been journaling for many years, but I've noticed that when I'm sad, I tend to journal only about my feeling. Like, how worse is this? And then how overwhelming it all is. I think this is how I make things worse at the very beginning because I keep journaling about my emotion but never the solution. And after that, I read a book that completely changed the way I journal. It's basically said the way you frame your words can transform your feeling into actionable steps. So here's how. When you journal, you replace I feel with I think. For example, instead of saying I feel stuck, you write I think I'm stuck, but this is part of a journey and I can only unstuck from here. And the second is replace what if with even if. For example, instead of what if they don't like me, you write even if they don't like me, I respect their decision because I like them. And the last one is you replace I hope with I decide. Instead of I hope things get better, you say I decide to take effort to make things better every day. So the shift of language is powerful. It turns your journal from a place of ranting into actions. It's no longer just about how you feel. It's about how you're going to do something about it. I think it gives me more hope and a sense of direction, not just how I feel, because honestly, I can't control my emotion, but I can take action. I can still work when I cry, but I cannot uncry when I'm crying. You get what I mean? So when you turn your feelings into action, right, which is the third thing I think I did right, is I keep myself productive even when I said I'm taking a break. It's not to say you numb yourself or what. I personally don't think people should take a break by doing nothing. But you choose to do things that doesn't have to think on. Like something you cannot fail. For example, cooking yourself a meal, go to classes. Then slowly you get smooth in life and the things you do, then you gain back the confidence that you're in control and you stop yourself from spiraling. When you're in a very low stage, right? I personally am not motivated at all. I don't know how people have a glow up after breakup. I don't even want to take a shower. So what I'll do is I'll book the earliest yoga class. That way I force myself to wake up early and then drive to that place. And after class, you immediately take a shower there and then proceed with the rest of the day. And then you look at the watch, it's only 8:30. It makes you feel productive and have more me time before work. With that mindset, I'm telling myself that I can do difficult things. Or I also just try all the things I feel like I want to try because I'm on my own now. I don't have anyone to please. And last week, my car suddenly broke down and cannot start. I also don't know who to ask for help, so I walked to the nearest workshop and they replaced my battery. 200 ringgit. Until now, I still don't know if I got scammed or not. Last month, I doubled my income and then I suddenly also don't know who to share this news with. But what I'm trying to say is over time, you realize you never really needed permission to grow. When you're no longer trying to please anyone, you become better at setting boundaries and you also know how to better support your friends. Finger crossing, we'll meet our people again. So to wrap up today's podcast, losing people is part of the life. But what truly matters is how we use the loss to grow. Maybe today you feel alone, but in this quiet season, you have the chance to rebuild not just your friendship but yourself. Just keep believing that everything happened for a reason. If it's not because I lose my friend, I wouldn't see a therapist for the first time. I wouldn't get so close with my family. I wouldn't know I can do so many things on my own when I thought I already very independent. But I can be more independent. So keep believing that everything happening now is happening for you so you can become the person you're meant to be. Thank you! Let me know in the comment what you think, or simply just let me know that you're here and listening until the very end. I can't believe I finally finished record my first podcast after so long. Hopefully, finger crossing, there will be another episode. And since it's my first time doing it, I wanted to do this right, and I respect people's time, so I haven't really invite anyone just yet. But if you're listening to this and you think that this girl is doing not a bad job and maybe I have a seed worth planting, please let me know. It means a lot. And mind you, I'm very good at seeing the good in people. So if you're not sure what you can share but willing to explore, I promise I'll find it. Let's plan something together. Until then, I'll sit you around. Bye. I don't know how far this can go, but what matters is we try. And then we try from first episode. If good, we do it again. If not good, we see how we can do better, or we try other things. In Chinese, there is a song. It's like 追不到的梦，换个梦不就得了 something. Sorry, I sing very 难听. But it means if you cannot achieve your dream, then change another dream. I guess we all learn to take life less seriously over time.